It's daytime with Aston Avery. Now, we say no to bullying this month as it's anti-bullying this month as well. And anti-bullying week is on the way as well. Joined by a very special guest, a regular guest, Stephen Smith joins me along with podcaster David Hodge, and also soon to be hitting the big screen, one of Gateway's favourite authors there, Samantha Lee Howe joins us. Stephen joins me because he's not only raising awareness for anti-bullying month or anti-bullying week, he's also got some books that are going to be on a different format. So hello, Stephen.
Good morning, Aston. How are you?
Good morning, Stephen. So it's this.
I'm just going to say the sun is out. It's beautiful, isn't it? For once, so I'm feeling in an up mood.
Up mood is the best policy. But that being said, as I mentioned right at the top there, it's anti-bullying month, also anti-bullying week, which is coming up this week, coming there. And it is We Say No to Bullying, which the Anna Kennedy Online charity, it's the hashtag Give Us a Break movement here. So how can we get people to talk about bullying even if they don't want to talk about it?
So difficult, Aston. I think being British, we really don't talk about our feelings enough. And we don't encourage our children to talk enough about their feelings. The number of times I've talked to a parent, this child's either harmed themselves or killed themselves, that weren't aware that their child was being badly bullied at school and thought they were very popular. It's important to sit down and talk to your child and explain that being bullied is not a failure. Some very successful people. In fact, I don't know anybody very successful or in the arts that hasn't been bullied at some point, which is a sad state of affairs. But at school, often children learn how to hide it and not talk about it because they're almost made to feel ashamed that they're being bullied. Equally, those bullying are sometimes hurting themselves. So I think in schools to talk about it is really important for parents to sit them down because kids are brilliant at disguising it. I know myself, I was bullied every day of I went to school and I used to hide away, but pretend I was really popular. And because I was afraid, I felt as though I'd let myself down or let my family down. So talk about it's the most important thing, Aston.
Oh, yes, indeed. And that being said there, have you been a victim of bullying, Stephen?
As I said, I don't know many people in the arts that haven't been. I had red hair going to school to start with, Aston. It's the one category that people don't talk about, red hair. When you've got Katie Hopkins as an adult bullying people with red hair. And so you stand out right away. If you stand out and you look different, you're instantly a target for bullies. And I learned to cope with it. And my childhood at school wasn't all unhappy, but there was a lot of bullying. But you learn how to deal with it. But I have to say, I shouldn't have had to learn how to deal with it. It should be something that should be stamped in the head. It's just something I told my family. I remember telling my dad saying to me, "If you don't stick up for yourself, I'll hit you." And it's not the answer to it. It's sticking up for yourself because often it's like. Aston, were you bullied?
Indeed. At the same time here, Stephen, my bullying was down to the fact that it was more medical grounds, really. That's how I was bullied, more about medical grounds, like through autism, through other things. But my brother got bullied because of me being diagnosed with autism. I tell you that as a fact, really. And look at what he's become now.
Yeah, no, the one thing, the only solace I can say, a lot of people that bully go on to be very, very successful. But there is the trauma that you bring into later life, and it does cause a lot of problems for people. A lot of people with mental health issues go right back to their childhood and bullying.
That I can speak on the mental health front here because times when I was bullied, it was points I wanted to take my own life. But this was as a child anyway. That was when I was bullied. But then, as I said, my brother was bullied, not because of him, because of me. That was the reason, because of it. And it's sad to see that someone that I know close and personally getting bullied because of someone else having what they call a learning difficulty.
But you're so right there. You talk about your brother's successful now, you're successful now, I'm successful. But there are a lot of people that bring the trauma of bullying into adulthood, and later on they take their life because they still hear that voice coming from Pierre. So it's really important. And I just quickly here, if you're ever feeling like that, the Samaritans is a good place to call, because sometimes people still learning themselves that they can't talk. But Samaritans was someone you can actually go to. It's really important that you do talk about it. And as I say, it goes on to adulthood as well. The number of people that have been bullied at work, I can't begin to tell you about. And it's often done by people that aren't qualified in management, because management's a skill. And they go into the workplace, and if you don't know, when someone comes to work for you, they're not subservient. They're bringing their talents into the place, and as a manager, you're taught how to bring those out in them and look after them. But sometimes it turns into bullying, and that can affect. And there's one young man coming from a company I know of who's having mental health problems because the person doesn't know what they're doing management wise. You really equally, if you're having problems at work, Aston, call the Citizens Advice Bureau. You can report them. It's really important to report people that are bullying at work, because they sometimes don't know they're doing it. But if the Citizen Advice can coordinate, talk to them, and if necessary, take action against them.
Without question, and obviously, as you mentioned there, Stephen, about Samaritans, Mind is good for mental health, and there's other forms of charities out there, organisations that are really good for mental health.
Yeah, absolutely. There are. Look online, Google it. You can find someone to talk to that might be a neutral voice, because sometimes it's difficult to talk to someone you know. Especially, as I say, especially being British, we're not brought up like that. Let's look online. It can be so worth it, because trust me, your life's so important. Looking after yourself and your mental health, and there are people out there that will help you.
Indeed. Now, Stephen, very shortly, we're going to be chatting about a couple of books of yours that are going to be on a different format. So be back shortly, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Aston.